It's a Miracle Beauty. I wanted to do a first impressions video on the new Naked by Urban Decay. I bought both the foundation and the concealer, and I am wearing it today. I am in the shade 20 CP for the foundation, and I bought 10 CP for the concealer. Concealer is a little bit light for me, but they do work really well together. So typically I do on this channel unboxings, no buy, low buy, pan challenges, empties, things like that, mini reviews, sometimes full reviews. So if you like that sort of thing, if you wouldn't mind subscribing and ringing the bell for notifications, I do upload every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday. And if you wouldn't mind liking this video, if you like these kinds of videos. So I did actually go and purchase these this week. Again, it's the Urban Decay Stay Naked. It's their new one. It is a plastic bottle, which I had seen that other people on Instagram had mentioned that the bottle was kind of, for the price that you pay for it, it's a little bit cheesy. But one of the things that I like about it is sometimes glass bottles are very hard to travel with. I last year actually went down to Cleveland and was there for basically a long weekend. And unfortunately, I had a foundation completely break in my bag, even though we didn't even fly. Like, I still don't know how it happened, but these do come in handy, especially if you travel. So that's one thing I kind of feel like I need to be a counterpoint to, is that some people were kind of talking about like it's cheap. I also think the design is really cute. I'm not sure if it will pick up. It has like a cutout that's literally cut out of the plastic, and that's where the name and stuff is. It's really cute in my opinion. So, and the concealer is pretty generic. It's just a concealer metal. But one of the things that I like best about this is I actually put this on my hand while I was in Ulta. Walked around, just wanted to see, you know, did it oxidize? Was there any change? And then I ended up purchasing the color that I tried. It worked out great, which I kind of thought by looking that would be my color. I went to dinner and came home, went to dinner with my kids, did some stuff with my kids, and then came home and went to the bathroom and washed my hands. And it didn't even wash off. Like, you can feel it. Now, mind you, I didn't use like a cleansing balm. I just used like, actually I think it's Ultra brand soap. But my hand still looks like I didn't do anything with it. So to me, that was the first thing that I saw that I was like, that might be good foundation. So the one thing I will say about this is it's a very thin and runny consistency in my opinion. And so that it's also like low to medium coverage. It does build up to full coverage or pretty close to full coverage. However, it takes a lot more between my sponge soaking it up. I chose not to put it on with a brush this time. I am going to try that tomorrow for work, but the sponge soaking up some of it and then it just being a runnier consistency, it did take me longer to do my foundation. And then there's one other point, is it has an odor to it. It kind of reminds me of that new is it L'Oreal? There's like the 24-hour or 12-hour one that everybody's obsessed with. It reminds me of that one, how it was like almost like a perfume scent. But this one I think it smells almost like alcohol. I mean, it's a noticeable scent. I didn't find that pleasant, but it did not stay. As soon as I started blending, I couldn't smell it anymore and it was gone. It was super easy to blend. I mean, I think that the Makeup Forever HD foundation is one of the #1 easiest to blend. It looks good every time, never have a problem, never have lines, the whole deal. This could definitely take it for a run for its money. And it's a little bit more glowy. It's definitely not a luminous foundation, I would say. I mean, I did put a little bit of powder on today to set it because I knew that I would be filming, and in my filming area, it gets humid, so I knew I needed powder. But I definitely don't think it's a super matte either. So it's kind of like in the middle. If you hate luminous, but you don't want to be fully matte, I think this is the perfect solution. Then also I noticed that powder sat on it like really nice. So I'm 40, gonna be 41 very, very shortly, like this week. And I have fine lines. As much as I like to pretend I don't, I do. And powder can tend to settle in them. And I found that this one, once it like really was set and I dusted away any excess, it looked nice, it looked clean, it looked fresh. It was very just a classic look of a foundation. So normally I would try a foundation with one of my normal concealers, but I wanted to try them both today. And the Stay Naked, it's the, let's see what I call it. Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. So this one, first of all, when I first put it on, I was like, oh boy, that's way too light. But when I blended it with the sponge I actually used for my foundation, it kind of blended it in. It wasn't as bad. It did brighten my under eye. And initially, like first sight, I was like, this concealer sucks. It didn't look like it was doing anything. Like, I'm just being honest. It looked like it was just, I don't know how to explain it. Like it was there, but it wasn't covering anything, wasn't doing anything. And so I put just the smallest amount that was left on my sponge, and I just did both eyes, and it was like, boom. It's like the skies parted and it looked beautiful. So I do think that you do have to have a little bit of patience with the concealer and you have to work with it. And then they blend together very, very seamlessly. Like, I personally go through quite a different amounts of concealers and foundations. That's literally like my two favorite things. I own way too many foundations than any person should own, and way too many concealers anybody should own. But I love rotating. I love using different combinations. I basically never use the same brands together. And so I typically see concealer either works or it doesn't. Like, there's not this, oh, let's try it again thing. I mean, it happens. Like, Shape Tape was that for me. I bought it and could not understand why anybody liked it. Now it's literally one of my holy grails, because it does take a little bit to work with, because it's like the thicker consistency and it's not a creamy consistency. The point of my conversation is the point of that statement is that if you try the concealer and it doesn't necessarily work the first time, I would try it again, or try it in conjunction with your sponge you use for your foundation if you use it, or your brush. I tend to, at least recently, go back and forth. The longest time I refuse to use brushes. Now I've discovered the Real Techniques face brush, and I am obsessed with using a brush for my foundation. If you find it doesn't work for you, if you try using that excess foundation or whatever, for some reason, it's not even that, like, you could tell by the color, it was not the foundation that was helping it. It just helped it blend in better, and it looks like more seamless, but also it gave it a little bit more coverage. I do want to try this again with, like, for example, my Makeup Forever HD foundation. I see how it works with other foundations, but I do really, really love when, like, these are both plastic. I can throw them in my makeup bag and I'm good. I don't have to worry about it. Whereas I typically, this sounds so bad, but my makeup bag typically has at least 2 foundations, typically has at least 2 concealers. Mascara, you don't even want to know how many mascaras I usually carry, plus a palette or 2, and then like bronzers and everything else. I would love to have the ability to be in love with this foundation and concealer and just carry these 2. So if we talk about the price point and we talk about what you get for each, 0.05. So I think this is 0.05 ounces. And then this is the stereotypical 1 ounce. So I paid, I believe it was $39 for the foundation. And I think it was $29, if I'm not mistaken, for the concealer. That's probably one of the most expensive concealers I've ever bought. No, actually my NARS might have been more than that, or right in there with it. However, I do think that this did end up giving good coverage. I think that it was, 1, learning how to work with the product. And I also think that it was 2, seeing what my particular skin and my dark circles and things needed to cover. So I do think that it works well. I am willing to pay more for a product that works well. Now, this is a first impression, literally first use impression. We'll see as I use it more and with other foundations how it does. The foundation was $39. That is right in line with Tarte. That's right in line with other, premier or higher market. Now, it's not the Lumiere's or any of those, but it's something right in there with it. I personally, again, I think the plastic was a good idea. I think it's easier to travel with. I think that you're getting, what you're really paying for is the foundation. If you like it, you're going to see value in it. If you don't, you're going to find this to be a problem. You're going to find the foundation to be a problem. I mean, the whole thing is just a problem if you're not liking the foundation. Again, first impression. I like the way it looks. I like that it's buildable. I like, when I go to work, I don't wear a full face of makeup typically. I wear a very natural looking foundation like the Revlon Candid that shows my freckles and things like that. And I like that this is buildable. So I can do a small layer and wear it to work, or I can do a full coverage for date night this week. So that's one of the huge pluses for my category. The only negatives that I'm seeing as of now is the liquidity of it. It is a lot is absorbed by the sponge. It's really just uncanny how much really is absorbed. And then, and how much I lost count of how many pumps that I did. I mean, I'm not saying there was like excessive amounts, but I just did, after 3 pumps, I stopped counting. And I think it was, including my neck, it probably was 5 pumps probably. And then the foundation also has that smell. I am not super sensitive to smells, but that alcohol almost scent just really turned me off. Again, it dissipated the minute I started blending. It literally was as I had it on my finger right here. I was pumping like that close to me and I could smell it. When I put it on my nose up here, I couldn't smell it. And the rest I blended with the beauty blender or the beauty sponge. So I think that it's a little bit too strong for, especially this price point. I don't like paying for perfumes in my makeup or scents in my makeup. I like unscented. For the concealer, I think that it's right in line with Tarte Shape Tape. It's in line with, I think NARS is the same price or maybe a couple dollars more. And if it performs the way it did today, I will be happy with that. I won't have any problem with that. If I see that with other foundations it doesn't work, or it, you know, tomorrow when I wear it to work, if halfway through the day it's wiping off, especially right now with us. I mean, our humidity some days is like 85-90%. I don't know how you ladies in Texas and California do it, in Florida for that matter, in the South. It's crazy. Our heat wave is so hot that our makeup is just melting, and that's with powder on. So I guess, would I buy these again? First impression, yeah. Honestly, with my first impression, I would. I will do an update, and if I continue to like these, and if I see that they're usable with other concealers with the foundation or concealer with the, you know, vice versa. I think I just said that backwards, but you get the point. And I will update you in a future video about that. I'm actually working on an updates video for like BoxyCharm and Ipsy and hauls and things like that, so that I can kind of update you. Are they still in my collection? Do I still use them? Did I use them all? Did I part ways with them? Marc Jacobs. That bronzer looked orange on my face. So yes, that huge expensive bronzer I parted ways with, and it was not pretty. I was very sad at that moment, but I'm not going to keep something that doesn't work for me just to go bad at my collection because I paid for it. That's part of trial and error and finding out what works for you and what doesn't. So that's all I have for tonight. I hope that you had an awesome day today. I hope that you will like and subscribe and ring the bell and all the things we have to say. But I would like to see you here again soon, and I hope that I do. Thanks, and have a great night.